For sure. And like I said earlier, there's a jump from high school ball to SEC. Well, of course, there's a major jump from college baseball, no matter the level, to
Yeah.
Major League Baseball and even the minor league level. But you flourished. I mean, again, like I said earlier, 12-2, 2.27 ERA, highly ranked prospect in the White Sox organization. What do you think clicked for you? Because obviously it sounds like you got there, you got to work immediately. What were the biggest jumps in your game? What did you need to fine tune, adjust? Because I think you can attest obviously more to this. You can go in on this, but you obviously have the skill set. It's about fine tuning things. And those guys who are the best of the best at what they do, attention to detail, no detail left unturned. Like the little things are the big things. But just talk about what that was like, what jumps you had to make in your game, what you had to work on the most.
Well, I remember specifically going into pro ball. And that first half of that year when I first got drafted, I was pretty lackluster. Didn't really have that great of numbers. I'm pretty sure it's like a high 4 ERA or something like that. And, I really went into that next offseason and focused on detail. I remember making a mindset shift to pre-game throwing. I'm not just warming up just to warm my arm up. I'm warming up and I'm working on something and, trying to make every throw count towards something, and just became very detail oriented. And, over time it ended up making that change, but it also helps, up until I guess not this last year, 2018, I had a lat strain in spring training, but other than that, I've been very healthy. And to play a full year of minor league baseball really helps you develop and do what you want to do. And obviously I had a healthy season last year at the alternate site and even up with the big league team and summer camp. So, being healthy and being able to work on things that I believe has been the key. But you say fine tuning, it's just, you can't miss. If you miss, guys are going to hit it, and not just miss, but if they're on balance, if their timing's on, it's just like, even if you make good pitch, it's going to get hit. So sequencing and being able to change up 3 speeds, it's not just fastballs anymore like it was in college. So it's a different mix.
Yeah. Talk about 2020 a little bit, by the way, because, again, we talked at the beginning of the show. You've been invited to the big league camp. You're on the 40-man roster. When did that happen? Because I know for the minor league guys, obviously, there was no season last year. The world went haywire, right? What was 2020 like for you? When did you get that call?
Yeah. So I was invited to big league camp at the beginning of 2020, and I was doing okay. I had one rough outing, but all the rest were pretty good. And I did enough to I guess impress, and was able to get invited back to summer camp. So the second spring training, so to speak, that was up in Chicago with a shortened roster. There were only 44 guys there. I got to pitch against the Brewers, and obviously we had some inter squads. So it was, and that took place over quarantine, where everybody was just kind of, what are we doing? We kept getting calls saying, hey, we're going to play. You need to be ready for this. I don't know what's available to you, but you got to be ready. So, you got guys, professional athletes thrown in the nets, scratching ways to find bullpens and find places that are open to work out, or just work out at your house. So people are just scratching. And then after summer camp, I ended up getting moved to the alternate site in Schaumburg, just outside of Chicago, and was able to really get a lot of innings there and a lot of work. So obviously nobody was really able to see it, or there's no, receipt of it, but, it was definitely beneficial. And then I was put on the 40-man this December. So there's such thing as a Rule 5 draft. It's very, very detailed. Would have to go into a lot of specifics on it, but the White Sox ended up saying that they want to protect me from going into the Rule 5 draft and put me on that roster.
For sure. So obviously you're a guy, you're really close to making your major league debut. What do you think? Is it just simply for you just continue to put good outings on good outings, or is it things for you that you're like, there's specific things you're working on that you're like, need to take the next step in this? Or like, I guess for you overall going into 2021, and we all have our fingers crossed that it's going to be as normal as possible. And we're going to get a normal 162 game season. I mean, I will say last year was actually pretty fun watching a 60 game season, if you will. Every game was like intense, but obviously we all hope everything goes back to normal. Like, what's your mindset, bro? What's your mindset going in this year? Because you're right there about to kick the door down in regards to making that debut and being a dude for the White Sox.
Just, stick with the process. My mindset's not good outing after good outing, because truthfully, it doesn't matter. Right. You can have 10 good outings, and sometimes there's just a timetable to things, and right. They want to see certain things develop, and other times there might just not be, a spot for you until somebody gets hurt or they need you or something. And so really just the process and staying detailed with everything I'm trying to do, and not be so results oriented. It's right. It's a little bit of a shift, with obviously, in the major leagues, it shifts to all results oriented. Right. But right now it's more, you obviously want to play well, but you want to develop, you want to become the pitcher that they want you to be, because they believe that you can be a great asset for the better part of hopefully 8 years. I know the White Sox are looking and set up to be good for the next decade. So, my goal is to be ready for the prime of that.
Is there a guy that you faced that maybe when you first got out to the minors or in your time, obviously with the White Sox on the 40 man, is there a guy you faced that like fans would recognize, or just like a big matchup where you're like, oh wow, I know you don't like to give like guys credit like that, I guess. Like everybody's just a faceless, nameless opponent. Like you're just out there doing your job. But like, has there been a moment where you're like, holy shit, that's so-and-so? Like,
so-and-so? Not really.
I know you're probably not a guy to give hitters that type of credit, but
in terms of prospects, I faced just about, some of the top prospects of every organization, being in the fall league, and I've been around guys that the organizations have pegged as their next coming. So now I say that kind of sounds cocky, but it's good to be around them. But in terms of like everyday names that I guess a random person would know, I'm not really sure I faced anybody. Like I know when we play the Dodgers here at our complex, like, guys will look for Mookie but I really haven't done that, but at least none off the top of my head. And right. If I have, then I'll probably zoned out.
It's a good way to be. That's smart. Smart.